Did you know that jealousy is behind 13% of all spousal murders in the US? This powerful emotion can drive us to do the unthinkable, even harming those we claim to love most. But what is it about jealousy that makes it so intense, so overwhelming? In this video, we're diving deep into the psychology of jealousy, exploring why it grips us so fiercely, and how it can sometimes be more than just a destructive force. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of this complex emotion, and you might just see it in a whole new light. Jealousy isn't just one emotion. It's a toxic blend of fear, anger, and deep hurt. At its core, it's about the terror of being discarded, replaced, or abandoned by someone we care about. This pain often fuels a burning anger that lashes out at the perceived betrayer or even innocent bystanders. But is jealousy always a villain? Surprisingly, it has its upsides. Imagine a partner who never shows even a hint of jealousy. Wouldn't that seem a little off? A little too detached? We crave signs that we matter, and a touch of jealousy can be a signal that someone is emotionally invested. Psychologists call this reactive jealousy. It's a natural response when a real threat to the relationship appears, driving us to seek the truth and protect what we hold dear. On the flip side, there's another form of jealousy, one that's far less grounded in reality: suspicious jealousy. This is the type that springs up without any solid evidence, leading one partner to snoop, spy, and spiral into paranoia. It's the jealousy of the imagination, fueled more by fear than fact, and it can tear relationships apart from the inside. In addition to these two broad types of jealousy, research on multidimensional jealousy suggests there are three distinct categories: cognitive, behavioral, and emotional jealousy. Cognitive jealousy is that voice in your head, filled with suspicions and insecurities, casting shadows on every interaction. It's the mental spiral that sows distrust and drives you to question everything. Behavioral jealousy goes further. It's not just in your head, but in your actions, checking phones, monitoring movements, and slowly tightening your grip. What starts as protection can quickly turn suffocating. But then there's emotional jealousy, and this one's different. It's driven by love, a protective instinct that, when kept in check, can actually deepen bonds. This type of jealousy opens the door to honest conversations and sets the stage for stronger connections, if it doesn't spiral out of control. As we can see, both cognitive and behavioral jealousy fall within the category of suspicious jealousy, whereas emotional jealousy falls under reactive jealousy. In the Greek myth of Eros and Psyche, we can see the archetypal pattern of jealousy playing itself out and displaying the destruction of behavioral jealousy and the redeeming factor of emotional jealousy. In the myth, Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty, became envious of Psyche's stunning beauty, fearing it might eclipse her own. Her jealousy led her to send her son, Eros, to make Psyche fall in love with a monstrous creature. Yet Eros fell for Psyche himself, setting off a chain of trials that eventually led to Psyche's immortality. This tale highlights how jealousy, even among the gods, can drive destructive behavior. However, it also illustrates how such intense emotions can lead to personal growth and transformation. In the end, Psyche's trials brought her closer to the divine, suggesting that jealousy, while potentially harmful, can also serve as a catalyst for deeper understanding and connection, much like how emotional jealousy, when handled wisely, can strengthen relationships by prompting necessary conversations about love and commitment. Jealousy isn't just a random emotional glitch. It's deeply rooted in our evolutionary past. From an evolutionary perspective, jealousy developed as a survival mechanism to protect our relationships from outsiders. In the harsh conditions of early human history, those who were vigilant against rivals, defended their partners, and worked hard to maintain their bonds were more likely to keep their relationships intact and successfully pass on their genes. This makes jealousy an ingrained, natural response that's hard to avoid. But it gets more interesting. Evolutionary psychology suggests that men and women might experience jealousy differently due to their distinctive reproductive challenges. For men, the biggest threat historically was raising another man's offspring, making sexual infidelity particularly alarming. Meanwhile, women face the risk of losing their partner's resources and support, making emotional infidelity, where a man might fall in love and redirect his commitment, more distressing to them. This explains why men often react more strongly to sexual betrayal, while women tend to be more upset by emotional betrayal. In a classic study by David Buss, participants were asked what would upset them more: their partner forming a deep emotional connection with someone else, or their partner having passionate sex with another person. The results were telling. 60% of men were more distressed by sexual infidelity, while 83% of women were more troubled by emotional infidelity. This pattern was reinforced by physiological studies showing men's bodies responding more intensely to thoughts of sexual betrayal, whereas women's reactions were stronger when imagining emotional infidelity. However, this research has sparked debates. Critics argue that forced choice questions like these might exaggerate the differences between men and women. When given the option, many participants actually expressed distress over both types of infidelity. Moreover, the meaning behind infidelity can differ. Men often see sexual infidelity as a direct threat, while women view emotional infidelity as a sign that their partner's sexual and emotional commitments may be intertwined. Ultimately, while there are differences in how men and women respond to infidelity, the reality is that jealousy hits everyone hard. The evolutionary narrative helps explain why, but it's crucial to remember that both emotional and sexual betrayals can feel deeply personal and painful, regardless of gender. Jealousy is a double-edged sword. How we react to it can either strengthen our relationships or tear them apart. At its worst, jealousy can trigger harmful behavior like lashing out with violence, verbal attacks, or trying to provoke jealousy in return. Some people respond by spying on their partners, restricting their freedom, or threatening potential rivals. All actions that often backfire, pushing partners further away. However, jealousy doesn't always lead to destruction. Sometimes it motivates people to take positive steps, like openly expressing their concerns, working to resolve conflicts, or making themselves more attractive to their partners. Responses to jealousy often depend on attachment styles. Those with secure attachment are more likely to communicate openly and seek solutions, while those with avoidant tendencies might pretend nothing is wrong, suppressing their emotions or acting indifferent. Men and women also tend to handle jealousy differently, complicating heterosexual relationships. Research shows that women are more likely to try to save the relationship by improving themselves or their connection with their partners, even if it means feigning indifference. In contrast, men are more inclined to protect their pride, responding with aggression, substance use, or even seeking attention from other women. This dynamic creates a mismatch. Women often hope their jealousy will prompt men to fight for their relationship, but men's responses can instead drive them apart. Now, that being said, I advocate as much emotional honesty as you can muster in your close relationships, and feigning indifference, even in the service of saving the relationship, is a falsification of one's emotions, in other terms known as lying. Interestingly, women are more likely than men to induce jealousy on purpose, often to test the relationship or gain more attention. Unfortunately, this tactic can backfire when men respond in ways that don't align with women's expectations, leading to more conflict rather than increased commitment. So, what's the solution? Experts suggest that when jealousy is warranted, it's crucial to separate your self-worth from the relationship. Recognize that your value doesn't hinge on someone else's commitment. Stop the endless rumination and build confidence in your ability to thrive with or without your partner. In some cases, therapy can help manage jealousy by reducing irrational fears, enhancing self-esteem, improving communication, and creating healthier relationship dynamics. But also, you just have to accept jealousy as a part of human nature. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means you are all too human. There's not always a way to get over it, and accepting that it is a part of you is a huge part of not letting it consume you. That being said, I'm going to link in the description a book called The Jealousy Cure, which contains some practical techniques to help you overcome persistent jealous thoughts in the moment so they don't overtake you. Ultimately, jealousy is a natural feeling, but how you handle it can make all the difference. The key is to find ways to keep it from controlling you and damaging what you value most. And, again, accepting that it's a part of your human nature.